Man, this is one of those things that I'm like, I'm gonna make a video and talk about this, and then I decide I'm gonna just get on stream instead and talk about it, and then I'm on stream, and then I'm like, this is a lot harder when it's live. I've been thinking a lot about my enjoyment of games on stream and what I'd like to do. As you guys know, I've been playing a lot of variety, and I've been really digging into it. Ghost of Tsushima, other random games, Bomber Grounds, all that stuff. You know, I like the short beard, by the way. I hate it. I want this to be long again. And I've been really enjoying WoW. My time with WoW was really fun, and I'm having a good time with it. I'm not gonna lie, pushing mythics and like logging in for mythics doesn't feel. It didn't feel good enough for me. I wasn't really vibing with that, so I sort of just stopped logging in. But I still like the MMO experience, and I was still logging into WoW to just try and do things for WoW and whatnot. And like I really appreciated what it was. I just don't think I'm going to play right now until pre-patch, if that's okay. We got a raid. I don't really want to, you guys. And like it hurts me to say this because I just don't think I like it that much. You know? It's okay, I still love you. I feel really bad about this. I want you guys to know this. Like I want to play. I want to experience Shadowlands for sure. Like I really do. I have it pre-ordered and everything. I just don't really find the drive to play WoW right now and like gain levels and do stuff and like eye level and whatnot, right? And like this has been like since we talked about MMORPGs last week. I like was thinking about it a lot in like terms of like what I enjoy and where I want to be. Wow, there's so much you can do. There's so much you can do in WoW. It's fantastic. There's so much content and great stuff, right? I really enjoy that. But I think I want to spend less time in an MMO I know less about because I haven't had that experience like you guys have. And that's another big thing too. Like with WoW, everyone has this really like attached experience and like inherent like they played the game and enjoyed it like from day one, and I never really had that, and I really tried to understand it and unlock that, and I think I just like sort of missed out on that boat. Obviously Classic feels really great though. I will say Classic is still really fun, but I'm just like running around questing. I'm not doing anything intense or like anything wild, right? I really did, and I can say the same thing. I wanted WoW to click the same way for me as it did for many other people. And I tried, and like, there's no reason that it didn't, right? But I really put in the effort, you know. As you guys know, I've taken a long break from Final Fantasy XIV, a very long time. I stepped away. Well, not even that long of a time. Last time I played, guys, when the last time I played Final Fantasy XIV? October. So I took a break from Final Fantasy XIV because I was frustrated by the position of the game, and like it has its flaws, and I very much so am still frustrated by it. There was community things that I was upset about. There was things in the Twitch category that I was upset about. There was things that I found out about certain streamers that I didn't like. And it put me in it rubbed me the wrong way. So much so that I was like, I'm just going to stop playing entirely. And I did. It actually, like, I burnt out. I walked away. I was done with that situation. I didn't want to deal with it. And, like, it wasn't one isolated occurrence. It was, like, multiple things. And obviously, we just got out of an expansion, so like more players, more shit posters. You're gonna be able to deal with shitty people, and every which way, right? And it was like I was being mentally drained, you know, like I knew I was getting burnt out in Final Fantasy XIV, and I knew I was getting mentally drained by it, and like so much so that like I wanted to still scratch that itch and play something, but I just couldn't get there, and so like I played WoW, and like WoW helped with that a lot, but there's aspects of WoW that just didn't get me the same way. Now, as you guys know, I'm still like, there's systems and things in Final Fantasy XIV that I know will never be perfect, or they'll never be the way that I want them to be. And I think I just need to get over that and enjoy the game for what it is, and the things that I do enjoy about it. And there is a lot that I enjoyed about it, and there's a lot I wanted to accomplish in the game, so that I could do that. And I think just getting back to the game and what I want to do in it is great. And I was always so, like, I'll also add that I was like hyper fixated on like, what is good content, and like how can I produce good stream content for the same game after many months over and over again, and it got very tiring, you know. And again, constantly looking at others and seeing what they were doing in the space and being like, I have to do that to be successful. It was one of those things that like just drove me insane. Because like I'm not a huge fan of hardcore content, as you guys know. Like I dabble in like extreme and like savage. I think with a good group I would be willing to, but I just never really been super into it. And like ultimate raids, dude, that's never gonna be a thing for me. I don't think. Maybe like maybe one day, but like it's not my jam. And I think post Shadowbringers expansion made it so clear that that was the thing to go for. And yet, like I always come back to this point of like Final Fantasy 14 is supposed to be like multiple aspects of it, the MMORPG genre. And you're supposed to enjoy these things like on a broader scale. It's supposed to be like an isekai. Like they put out that trailer and it's supposed to be like that sort of vision. And I reference that often because people will think that like the be all end all is like rating, when realistically hardcore rating can equally be equated as like extra content as much as like PvP or mahjong or anything else in the game, basically, right? So I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been thinking about that a lot. I want to have a good time, and I want to have a good conversation, and I want to enjoy the experience of playing games with you guys, and that's always the motive. And henceforth, that's why variety streaming is fantastic for me. But it's nice to have a fallback. On days where I really don't know what to play, on days where I don't know what to do, it's nice to have a game to go back to, even if we're just chilling, right? And have that conversation. And like part of the reason why I stopped playing for so long is because like you get to like end game, right? And there's that like hard wall of content. There's tons of content to do, but people just like conquer it, or they just do the thing. And I think breathing and living that experience for a while like definitely did like a number on my mental health as well. And then seeing people that I like from different communities, so like the roleplay community and like the PvP community, and then like the hardcore raid community, and like the mid-core community, even like kind of like digging at each other. It was creating like a super toxic environment, and you could see that in some people's attitudes on stream, for example, where it was like people would sort of get this attitude and like poke fun at like certain things, and like at the end of the day, it's good fun, but at the same time too, you're entirely disregarding like a facet of the game that appeals to many people, right? And that's something that I had to acknowledge and figure out as well. And people have gotten better, I will say, in the stream category. I've been told that there's attitudes that have been changed. I've been told that things have gotten better. And it's great. And I do like to see that result. I think we should stop attacking each other in the 14 community and start standing up for the collective community and like the game, right? We can always be like poking fun at stuff or whatever, but as long as it isn't good fun, right? So there's that. And I think anyone that watches this, I said it on Twitter, but if you're a Final Fantasy 14 streamer, man, some of your politics are so bad. And I've heard it. I want you to know that, okay? Stop being so damn sloppy, but also be nicer to each other. Holy shit. Please, be nicer to each other. There's no reason to gatekeep the game that you so pridefully tout. There's no reason to be so towards people that have the same interest, right? If you develop your personality, or if you developed your entire career on this game, and you're saying to others like, no, like you have to work for it like I did, there's something kind of up about that, don't you think? I'm not asking for handouts, and I don't think anyone in that regard is asking for handouts, but damn, it's good to be nicer. What's wrong with being nice? And it literally costs nothing to be nice, I'll add. If you think that everyone has to suffer because you shouldn't be in a position of leadership. I agree. 100%. And it's not, and like, not everyone thinks like that. And like, I'm not saying it to be like, good vibes, positive feels, whoa, sounds great. Nah, man. Just be better to people. Because for all you know, those could be the people that will grow into great players. Those would be the people that will end up being hardcore raiders. Those would be the players that end up being a community leader in some regard in one of the many, many pockets of this game, right? In Final Fantasy 14. I think it's so important, I'll also add that, like, I want to make a note, too, that, like, I know talking behind closed doors, I haven't been the nicest person to some people. And not that any of those people know what I may have said or didn't say. I do feel guilty about it. And I realized that, like, because I was surrounded by certain people that would spout certain things or say certain stuff, it inherently made me think a different way or think a particular way. and it had that effect on me. And I realized that like I'm not that kind of person when I'm in a healthy environment, and I need to be better, and I know I can be better, and I know I actually have been better, you know, which is great. I want this game to have better representation. I want to do my part, and I find myself wanting to play it often. And like I talk about this, and like this game is like it's one of my favorite games, and I can't help but to always feel like I'm missing out when I'm not playing this game. So as you guys know, this is my favorite game. Even though my preferred niche in this game is something that may never grow into something bigger than what it is, but all I can hope is that the developers just keep on loving it the way that it does. And I know my expectations are like a big fill, but they're only like that because I like playing this game a lot. So anyways, I want to come back. I want to enjoy the game that I love. And I want to have a good time. And I want to clear through the list of things that I really do want to, you know, do. And I think I'm gonna, at least for now, enjoy the game that I loved for so long. I want to make it so like it's a good place to be. And it's a good fallback. And I want to be the best representation of this community that I possibly can be. In a time when I think it definitely needs it on top of that. Adding to the many other people that are in this community that make it great. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to play Final Fantasy XIV again. I'm going to come along and do the thing. And it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And my free company, like, wow. I logged in and I just said, like, hello. And it was cool because, like, Madeline or Aislinn, they're just like, hey, like, your chocobo's ready. And I was like, oh? She's like, yeah. Quick, go level it up and then feed it an onion. I was like, oh, okay. And like, that was cool to come back to. It was just like, that was my first experience coming back. See, it feels weird because like, it really hasn't even been that long since I stopped playing. Like, you never left. Aw, dude, shut the f*** up. Sorry. Go, make me cry. Stop it. But no, for real. And I want to encourage anyone that's still part of our WoW guild to keep playing WoW. If you're not enjoying WoW, please enjoy it. It's a great game, and you know what? We've constructed a nice little community in WoW as well. Like, if you want to play WoW, and that's your go-to, please f***ing play WoW. Do it. You know? Our guild is the best. And I hope that we can keep bringing people to both games, right? To both WoW and Final Fantasy XIV. There's nothing wrong with like healthy coexistence. You know? It's really cool. I like both. I can't choose. I don't think you should have to choose. You know, I'm the opposite. I wanted XIV to be it. It just wasn't for me. And you know what? I'm learning more and more to appreciate that sort of perspective. Like, just because you don't like the end game or the game in some facets doesn't mean it's just like, oh, that's just it. And like, I had this conversation with Zeke even, and he was like, I was like telling him about, and like even our like I think we had a whole stream about it, like talking about like the game's in and outs and everything. And he was like, dude, you don't have to think so hard about it. I was like, oh. I was like, you know what, man? You're right. I think you're right, actually. You know? This Wanderer FC kind of litty. Are you standing in front of me, by the way? I think you are. What is this? What the hell? When did they add this? What is this? There's a giraffe now? Alright, now go inside the house. Okay, hold on. What is it? I like how you guys streamlined the place. I haven't looked at our guild house in a long time. Look at that. You just got the junk monitor and the men